guys, SS2 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. In the last part, we got Joey from Dr. Kamamiko's place. We, unfortunately, were not able to rescue Professor Crane from being kidnapped by some mysterious men in armor. And we were told by our mother to come to Gale Port to receive the machine part, where we were told the main shop owner was out, but his grandson was still in town fixing bridges. Talking to this guy, we also learned that he was going to be nice enough to give us a certain item. Now, in the last part, I told you I would recommend either using Espeon, Jolteon, or Vaporeon if you were going to pick one. Flareon just doesn't have the moves for 3rd generation, and Umbreon is a tank. So you could theoretically, you could use Umbreon, but I just don't recommend it because I'm a very offensive player. I still recognize defense and I understand its importance, but I just prefer to be very offensive. And of all my team, Umbreon really doesn't have a place because of who I've picked and the possibilities. So the EV evolution I'm going for is, if I could. No, you cannot do that. Darn, I was gonna have it go up and down and all over the place. Is Vaporeon. Yes, I want my Eevee to evolve into a Vaporeon. Now, I've done some research into what moves it will learn at what level, and of all the important moves I want to learn, Tackle and Takedown are the only two that I could see being feasibly useful in the shortest amount, or within recent amount of levels it's going to gain. And it learns Quick Attack, nonetheless, one level later as a Vaporeon, and it really doesn't matter if it learns Takedown because both Quick Attack and Takedown are physical moves, and as I've said, Vaporeon is a special attacker, so I see it fitting to evolve my Eevee right now. This way, it'll learn Water Gun at level 16, and it will also begin gaining better stats. It's going to get a boost to its stats as of right now, and like I said, it's just going to start, it'll learn more moves. Some moves it'll get Stab. Unfortunately, we lose our Tackle Stab, but Tackle's not that good. We'll be primarily using Bite because Eevee is just a really good special attacker, or this, not Eevee, Vaporeon is a good special attacker. And as you can see here, its highest stat is its special attack. So, as of right now, Bite is probably our best move at 60 base power, and it can cause flinching. And here, I'll show you the Teddiursa. Things about Shadow Pokemon. You do not see their original trainer, their ID number, or their nature until a certain point when this heart gauge reaches 0. As you can see, it's gone down just a little bit, and that's from us walking around. That happens, generally speaking. You also get the ability to pick up with this Teddiursa, and what this will do is it'll randomly pick or be holding an item, and what it can grab or find depends on what level it is. From 1 to 10, it can pick up certain ones, 11 to 20, 21 to 20, or 30, etc., etc. You don't really get any particularly good moves until around level 100, where it's possible to find a TM26 Earthquake, which I took advantage of in an Pokemon Emerald run one time. And another way you can guess is Shadow Pokemon get purified better by different means. Now, purification is something that happens a lot in the game, but I'm going to know this right now. One way you can sort of guess at what nature your Pokemon is, it's not so easy with this Teddiursa because of its stats, but we can generally speaking guess that it is, whatever nature it has is beneficial to its attack stat. Meaning that of all the stats it could be from, or natures it could either be adamant, lonely, or naughty. The only way to tell for exactly what stat it is to determine which stat is the lowest or growing the least. And unfortunately, its other stats, are defense, special attack, special defense, and speed, are all either at 17 or 16 tied. So, as of the moment, there's no definitively lower stat, so you cannot guess at what nature it is. There's another trick to determine what nature a Shadow Pokemon has and which method of purification works best, but we cannot do this at this point yet. There is also, to be noted, a glitch that comes much later in the game where you can use, or where you can walk in place basically, which will count towards stepping and will purify Pokemon pretty much until you're done. Unfortunately, unlike Coliseum, this game you get little messages. Whoops, we actually have to stay in game port. Never mind. You get messages saying, da da da, Teddiursa is ready for or can be purified. So it's not as good as it was in Coliseum. Coliseum, you could just do it. You get no messages. You just go on your way. So over here we find Pierre, the grandson of the parts shop owner. You can see him rotating the bridge so he can get back across. Anyway, yeah, so you can sort of guess how Shadow Pokemon can be purified that way, and that's actually something I just thought of off the top of my head right there looking at those stats. I actually didn't go over its attacks. Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Coliseum only had one type of... They only began with one move, Shadow Rush, which is essentially a typeless attack or a takedown attack. Or double edge or whatever, that type of attack. And it had a certain power. In this game, Shadow Rush is still present, but it's different. And there are more Shadow type moves. And that's just what I call them, Shadow type, because they're listed as typeless. As you can see, there's nothing that is weak or strong against it. However, there are still super effective and not very effective hits. Basically, being if they are a Shadow Pokemon, they have a passive subtype or third type of well, no, it's not a third type, but passive subtype of Shadow Pokemon or Shadow type. And if you are a Shadow Pokemon, you get hit by a Shadow type move, or Shadow type move as I call it, you resist it, and if you are a normal Pokemon like Vaporeon here, you take double damage from it. Shadow Pokemon or Shadow type moves come in various different forms and shapes. Generally, though, they are just a typeless or a Shadow type, rather, version of another move, such as Shadow Blitz here, which is a slightly weaker, slightly stronger tackle attack, basically. If we go up here, see 35, 40. Slightly stronger, same effects. Shadow Rush was kind of a powered up version of Takedown, like I said. Shadow Mist is a Shadow type version of Sweet Scent. So it lowers the evasiveness. Then there's other various ones, Shadow Blast or something like that. We'll encounter some Shadow Pokemon with that. There's one that's a weather effect, which is very, very nasty. Specifically in one specific fight. But anyway, that's Shadow type moves in a nutshell, as I call them. Shadow type moves, as I call them, in a nutshell, I should say. It's not too complicated, really. And as with Coliseum, you will purify them and regain other moves as you further get down the line. I believe what happens is, here I'll bring up the menu again, sorry I'm spending so much time here. After the first gauge is down, you get the first move they're missing, so I'll get his third move. After the second one, I believe you reveal their... Is it their nature? I forget exactly what is revealed. And then the third one does like the second move, the final one does something, reveals something else. I think that's the nature one. I don't know what the second one is. And the final one is purification, is possible. So each lock does do something. I just don't remember specifically what the second lock does. It's not a very important lock. And if I just wanted to, I could pretty much get this Teddiursa ready for purification just by doing this. However, it'd be very time consuming. I was wondering if maybe you could do the glitch there or something. Basically, there are areas you can get into where you can stand there, hold the control stick in a certain direction, and the screen will kind of start shaking as you step, and that is the glitch. So I've also done some research, and the Pokeball glitch present in Pokemon Coliseum is not present in Pokemon XD Gale Darkness. So I cannot take advantage of that, and I will be making sure to stock up on Pokeballs. We're getting more Crane memos here. I'm sorry this is being all very tutorialistic, but the first few parts of LPs tend to be that way, and I like to explain things right as they come up, and some things actually a little too early, probably in my opinion. I have a tendency to still spoil things, so I have to get over this habit soon. No, we don't want to go this way, we want to go head up. We want to head up. I have played, this is now the third time I've played through this section of the game, so I'm quite practiced at it. I don't normally practice for my LPs. I am a just do it kind of LPer. It's more fun for me this way, and if I can't LP a game and have fun with it, I don't do it. So I like the mistakes, the flaws, and everything that come with them because, while it may not be as professional or as good in some people's opinion, I find they make for better LPs because more of ridiculous, funny crud happens. And it just makes it goofy and funny for me, silly, I don't remember certain things and they pop up, so yeah. Especially with games like Pokemon here, this Pokemon game, which I haven't played in a long, long time. So it's very special for me to be doing this. And this, last time I played this was at least a good 3 years ago. So, yeah, it's kind of special for me. So here we're learning about Agate Village, or Agate, or Agat, whatever, I say Agate. And there was the Relic Stone in the original game, which the first hero, Wes, used to purify Shadow Pokemon. And we have been told to go talk to Egan, who was a very important person in the last game, and basically told Wes how to purify Shadow Pokemon, or of the Relic Stone, rather. So we're going to go meet him, and hopefully learn how to purify this Shadow Teddiursa. Now the first thing we're going to want to be doing around town here, and yes, the map is exactly the same as it was in Coliseum, however, we see it from a new 45-degree angle. Woo! Yeah, it's not important at all. Anyway, excuse me, there are items around here, namely that Pokeball, and if we head over here, we can find a cave that contains an old woman. No, 2 items, a super potion, and a very important Pokeball. Because those are in limited supply right now, those are actually very important. And talking to this lady, she's the teacher lady, or basically a move tutor. She can teach our Pokemon Mimic, Thunder Wave, and Seismic Toss. If you have a fighting type, I recommend this. An electric type, I recommend this, and I don't know I exactly can learn Mimic. I imagine most normal types, like our Teddiursa. You know, I'm curious now. Mimic obviously mimics what was done last, so could you theoretically mimic a Shadow Pokemon move? Huh, food for thought. Anyway, if we head around over here, we have a trainer right here. Sure, we'll fight the bug guy. This guy has bug Pokemon, a Silcoon, a Cascoon, and a Wurmple. And yes, because I've played the game 3 times through for this section, I know exactly what Pokemon he has. You can see the Hunter model got a little update from Pokemon Coliseum, and yep, there they are. Now, there are going to be several trainers around this area. I recommend you fight them all, because if you do, you'll be able to purify the Shadow Teddiursa even faster, or more easily, because you don't have to come back out and do it from what we're going to be doing. So, let's see, with Silcoon and Wurmple, these are both bug types, so Bite is not going to be as effective because Bug is actually good against Dark type and Psychic. So our best bet here is probably Tackle, despite Bite being that kind of move. So let's take out Silcoon because he's more defensive, and we'll show off Shadow Blitz. Shadow type moves do have their own actual animations for moves. They're not just like rehashed versions. Or they're, well, that one's kind of rehashed. There are some that have better actual animations. And Vaporeon gains a level. Not a bad stat gain. And here comes Cascoon. The other evolution of Wurmple. Silcoon evolves into Butterfly. Yeah, evolves into a Butterfly. I'm trying to say Butterfree here. It doesn't evolve into Butterfree. It evolves into Beautifly. Excuse me, I'm combining the two. And results in a basically Gen 3 version of Beautifly. Butterfly. Butterfree. Blah. Cascoon, however, evolves into You know what I mean. You've all played Pokemon, I'm sure. Who is probably the better of the two, although I have used a Butterfree. Wow. I've used a Beautifly before. It's okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I tend to retire my bug types I use, just because bug types, while they evolve quickly, their stats just are kind of lackluster. So we'll just kind of reverse the roles here. I'm a little strategic. I am more of an offensive powerhouse than I am a defensive or super strategic player. I tend to overpower my opponents more than I do out-strategize them, which does usually put me at a slight disadvantage, just because in RPGs, strategy is the key, not power. Having the good stats is helpful, but yeah. So I don't know how many battles I'm going to show in this part. There's another one down there, but I'm avoiding it for now. That big Beluga down there. Over here, we have two things, this item and that building. This building is special because it contains the name raider for one. Yes, I will be nicknaming my Pokemon. I will nickname the only one I can right now. Hello, my name's Damer. I rate names or nickname Pokemon for you. We will nickname Vaporeon because you cannot nickname Shadow Pokemon. So, the name I have bequeathed to this Pokemon begins with an R. Next comes U. T, why not? Oh, it's Rudo. Yes, I'm a Legend of Zelda fan, and Vaporeon kind of reminds me of Rudo. Or Rudo reminds me of Vaporeon. I don't know which came out first. I think they both came out in 1998. Pokemon Red and Blue and Ocarina of Time. I'm not sure. Here we have an old man with Tailo, and he will give us a Govberry. That's actually different. Last two times I've got a Persianberry. What's this do? I will... Hold on, there's source HP, but may confuse. Okay, that's actually kind of useful. The Pokemon daycare in this game is a little different. It doesn't necessarily raise the level or raise your Pokemon for you. In fact, I don't think you can even put in normal Pokemon. You can only put in Shadow Pokemon, and they lower the heart gauge, so it's another way to purify Shadow Pokemon, or prep them. So while I'm down here, I'm going to fight this old lady. I'm probably going to cut it out, so I'll see you guys in just a minute once I'm done kicking this old lady's butt, although I only have a minute left. So, actually, yeah, I'll just end the part with this. Never mind, if I had more time, I'd cut this out, but let's see how fast I can beat her. She has a Poochyena and Incada. Unfortunately, again, we still cannot use our bite move to show off our amazing special attack, but nonetheless, it will show off next time. And because we're all about to undo that, Teddiursa has now gained another move. So of the two, we'll take out Incada first. And he has Lick, good for paralyzing, but it's a weak move. So it's actually kind of good for catching Shadow Pokemon early on because you don't have a lot of power with it, he doesn't get stabbed, and it has a chance to paralyze. It's also good for just kind of whittling down Pokemon. So yeah, unfortunately our attack stat, despite getting that extra 10%, does not go over well. And unfortunately I foresee my physical attack stat overtaking my special attack stat in reverse mode. Think of it as hyper mode in this game. And there goes my timer. So unfortunately these two parts, both are going to have to go a little over, but I set my timer to 19 minutes just so I have that extra minute to play with if I really need to. Or just because I like to keep them 20 minutes, despite the fact I don't need to worry about being anything over 20 minutes. So yeah. Here we are going to tackle Incada and use Shadow Blitz on Poochyena. Shadow Blitz is probably our strongest move at this point, just because of the fact it does double damage to everything. And it's a really high base power move, just for this point in the game anyway. I mean, we're fighting single digit level Pokemon. It took out Poochyena in one hit. I'm not sure why that Incada stayed longer. I guess Poochyena probably doesn't have the greatest defense. I haven't used one ever. Really. Well, she gives us bullet seed there. But anyway, guys, this has been SS2. We're playing Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So, I'll see you guys next time on Let's Play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. See ya.